In a harsh world of education, assessments are confusing. But prepare to take a punt on a new partnership? One man with the bottle to start a new method of assessment from scratch. Ready to do battle for his backing? 3 ambitious entre teachers.
The spoken word is my tool.
Don't tell me the sky's the limit when there are Armstrong footprints on the moon.
It's not going to be a potato, it's going to be an experience.
Alright, I've read all your methods of assessment, and on paper, you all look good, but so does fish and chips. Tell me a bit more about your methods of assessment for the transition from Key Stage 2 to Key Stage 3. England, let's start with you.
Well, one must say that our methods of assessment in England are divine. England assesses Key Stage 2 children using standardised measurements, which come in the form of SATs, Standardised Assessment Tests. The SAT provides a measurable standard by which to compare the post-primary students' scholastic knowledge to other students. As of 2016, the levelling system was removed and replaced by a standardised scoring system in line with the new national curriculum.
Keep the heat now, England. Your bum's out of the window. Scotland's system is pure dead brilliant. Let me tell you, in 1957 the 11 plus was abolished, and now there are no official forms of statutory testing, meaning that when children move to post-primary education, the children will still be in a mixed ability class until the school assesses them using their own forms of assessment at the end of their first year.
Catch yourself on and quit your faffing about. Northern Ireland is the way to go, so it is. As of 2009, Northern Ireland replaced the 11 plus with an optional entrance exam for children who wish to attend grammar schools, known as the AQE examination. The Association for Quality Education is an alliance who believe that the future of post-primary education in Northern Ireland should be based on our excellent secondary and grammar schools, and not on imposition of the field one-size-fits-all comprehensive model.
Let me stop you there. You all remind me of the final scene from The Wizard of Oz. You look very impressive, but in my opinion, behind the curtains there's nothing there. Let's hear about the impact of your methods of assessment have on your children.
Spiffing! With the removal of levels, schools will be looking for a reliable and practical way of tracking and showing progress. The SAT is one of the fairest and most accurate ways of benchmarking pupils and monitoring their progress, enabling schools to compare the performance of different pupils within a year group, across a year groups, and against national standards. Using the SAT also enables scores from more than one test to be compared meaningfully, as the average standard age score is always 100, irrespective of the test type or the difficulty of the test. This is a fair method of assessment for all children, old chap.
Hold your wish. The children in England don't have the opportunity to start fresh in their post-primary school, as they will have already been grouped before they have a chance to show their capabilities and work hard to succeed in their new school.
You make an interesting point there, Scotland, so you do. Although, I'd be swayed towards the English way of doing things. Although in Northern Ireland we don't have standardised testing system for all children, we do offer the opportunity for children to sit AQE examinations if they wish to attend a grammar school.
You're off your head. It's all well and good that you two think that your systems are the best, but have you actually thought about your children? You guys are expecting too much of your bairns. Northern Ireland, your very own Education Minister, John O'Dowd, stated in 2014 that academic selection has the interests of institutions at its heart. It's not in the interests of any child. Our Scottish Education Minister, Angela Constance, believes that everyone involved in education within Scotland shares an ambition to ensure that children are delivered an education that gives the best opportunities to excel for everyone.
Well, Scotland, before you get your knickers in a twist, let me remind you of the Association for Quality Education that we have in our wee country. This association started off as an alliance of parents, principals, governors and teachers who believe that the future of post-primary education in Northern Ireland should be based on our excellent secondary and grammar schools. It exists to seek to improve the lot of our weans in Northern Ireland, not just those with academic gifts. Don't you tell me that we don't have our children's best interests at heart. In England, they don't offer equal opportunities for all of their children, as most of their subjects are overlooked.
One is awfully offended by these comments. If Northern Ireland were in Great Britain, you would know that we're doing our utmost to ensure that no child is left behind once they've made the transition into post-primary education. England's Minister for Education, Nicky Morgan, has put plans into place that children that fall below the national average resit their SATs once in secondary school. She feels that this is important as English and maths are non-negotiables of a good education. Scotland, if you looked at your results, you would see that there have been falls in numeracy and literacy standards due to not having tests at certain ages at school. Children do not have to reach certain levels at certain times, meaning that when children eventually come to sitting their exams at high school, many of them are getting low grades.
I hear your enthusiasm, you know. Great enthusiasm. A fly's got enthusiasm, but it doesn't stop it headbutting the window. Right, I'm giving you one more chance to pitch your country's methods of assessment. It's sink or swim. And by now, you've probably picked up, I don't do life jackets. Scotland, let's hear from you first.
In Scotland, there are no official forms of statutory testing, meaning that when children move up to high school, the children will still be in a mixed ability class until the high school assesses them, using their own form of assessment at the end of their first year. Not assessing children at the end of Key Stage 2 has many benefits, including there's no pressure on the children, there's no emphasis on a particular subject, there's no league table culture, and children get to enjoy their last year of school.
Although you make some very valid points, I would just like to point out the negatives of your country. There have been falls in numeracy and literacy standards, there's no national consistency, and there is unnecessary teacher workload in secondary schools.
Alright then, England. Since you have so many negative things to say about Scotland, let's hear what's so great about your country.
There are a number of key benefits of using a trusted, well-developed standardised tests as part of schools' assessment regime. The wealth of information provided by standardised tests can be applied at individual or group level to improve teaching and learning. In addition to all of the above, we recognise the importance of ongoing support and guidance in a time of change and possible confusion. As a result, we offer a range of scoring, reporting, interpretation and analysis services, alongside a series of events and help videos.
Oh boy, you can clear talk, can't you? That's all well and good, however, let me just tell you what's wrong with that system of assessment. Some subject areas are overlooked, there is lack of cultural consideration, and there's no chance for a clean slate. In our mighty wee country, children, parents and teachers can decide whether they would like their children to sit the AQA transfer test in order to attend grammar school, where generally speaking gives a better education, rather than a rabble to keep order. Lord Sugar, Northern Ireland's method of assessment for the transition from Key Stage 2 to Key Stage 3 is the bee's knees.
Listen to you talking about your wee country. Northern Ireland's current Education Minister, John O'Dowd, hit out at the grammar school sector, accusing it of being mixed ability in all but name, as grammar schools were lowering their grade entry requirements. O'Dowd opposes academic selection and questions the grade schools across Northern Ireland used to choose pupils after research showed that many grammar schools are accepting fewer as the year before. Katrina Ruan, the previous Education Minister in Northern Ireland, stated that making fundamental educational determinations at children aged 11 is wrong. This is why we do it our way in Scotland. O'Dowd also stated in 2014 that international evidence is clear that educational excellence does not require academic selection.
Hold your horses, Scotland. You're forgetting that Briar followed that statement up by saying the change from the 11 plus to unregulated examinations makes it possible for the transformed education system to facilitate the deserved and diverse needs of children.
May I interrupt? One would like to support Scotland in their response to Northern Ireland. O'Dowd also stated last year the existence of unregulated tests is potentially distorting the curriculum. This cannot be good for a child's education. Academic selection has the interests of institutions at its heart. It is not in the interests of any child.
You two are really ganging up on me, hey? Nuala O'Neill, director of the Governing Bodies Association, defended the right of parents to choose to send their children to grammar school. O'Neill said, year-on-year increases in numbers seeking admission to grammar schools demonstrated that these schools remain the first choice of a very large number of parents. The right to make such choices must be respected.
All I've heard from you so far is a lot of hot air, so in the interest of climate change, you're all fired. Let me suggest this. Each of you have considered some good points. England, you offer equal opportunities for all children. Scotland, there's no pressure on your children, and they get to enjoy their final year. In Northern Ireland, you allow your children to choose whether they'd like to sit the examination. So let me suggest an alternative. Why don't you three work together to come up with a better system of transition from Key Stage 2 to Key Stage 3, where there's no pressure on the children, offering equal opportunities and giving the children an option to sit the examination or not. Thank you.